Expectations and reality. Today I would like to tell you one love story where he is an earl and she is a peasant. The true love story that put into a flutter the whole noble society just because he was a good match for any lady of his class. When I bought this book, I was absolutely sure that it was a happy end love story. So I took a cup of coffee and was ready to start reading. But the deeper I went, the more I understood that I was wrong. A couple of words about the reality of that period. Nicholas Sheremetyev, a grandson of one of the loyal friends of Peter I, and at the beginning of the 18th century, his family becomes one of the richest and influential ones in the country. But while his grandfather was about honor and dignity, Nicholas was of another breed. He was not about wars and defending. At the age of 17, he was sent to Europe, and I will remind you that it was the period of the Enlightenment, where the ideas of freedom and equality were in the air. Praskovia was a typical dependent peasant of that period, and just because of her talent for singing, she became a member of his troupe. For the 18th century, she was very well educated just because she could speak French and Italian, and at the same time, she played different musical instruments. So I suppose that we could compare her with Eliza from Pygmalion. Nicholas admired the theatre, and he could afford to have a professional troupe consisted of his peasants. So he recruited a special man in Europe who bought for him musical instruments, note sheets, and the fabric for costumes, and who hired a lot of people of different professions, professional teachers in singing, dancing, teaching foreign languages, and sent them to Russia. I will remind you of the fact that till the 18th century, the country didn't know about violins and cellars. At the age of 13, she became his concubine. It could be possible, but no marriages between the classes. Several years later, it became clear that she had some kind of disease. They called it the consumption. Now we call it tuberculosis. And the couple moved to St. Petersburg, where he built up a mansion. Before, they lived on the territory of the Kuskovo estate. It was not far from Moscow. Now it is the territory of the city, the place where she grew up and where they met. In St. Petersburg, he hired a special man who moved to Poland, and there he made up a genealogical tree as if her family had never been among the dependent people before they moved to Russia, as if the family had the Poland rules. As soon as he got this document, he gave her freedom. So one moment she became an independent lady. And sometime later he married her. It wasn't the marriage all the ladies are dreaming about. It was a veiled marriage in the second part of the day, and the number of the guests was very much restricted. In a year, she gave birth to one son. His name was Dmitri, and 3 weeks later, at the age of 34, she died. There is no correspondence between them, so we can speak about their relationship according to the events that took place after her death. He buried her in the shrine of his noble family and sent a number of letters to different places. The letters were sent to the villages where his dependents lived. In the papers, he called Praskovia his wife and Dmitri the legal successor of all the heritage that he had. One of the letters was sent to Alexander I, the emperor. In the letter, he didn't ask the permission for marriage, but only mentioned the fact that he was married, and he really wanted the boy to be admitted as a member of his family. And he got a reply. In the letter, the emperor mentioned that Nicholas could marry the lady he wanted. That meant that he accepted the situation and admitted that boy. He also wrote the notes to his son, where he described the best traits of his wife's character, and said a lot of pleasant words about the lady. Now in the Koskovo estate you can see the items collected by Dmitri to save the memory of his mother. See you there.